Hey guys, so Iris will be coming. So just to let you know, I'll probably wait a few days before I get her kit. I will definitely get her. I have decided that I'll be jamming her kit. But I'm kind of like waiting a few days to get the premium pass and then get the extra pepper ticket from the previous event so I can use it on her banner. But I will do that maybe in a day or two. So content regarding Iris will come a bit later, just to let you know. Okay, so let us discuss about Iris. So Iris FR, is it good as a main FR? Personally, I do not really think so because 30% melee and 40% if a unit battery is the ally. So most of unit that have battery are actually support unit, and there are not much support unit that are melee and having echo. So you might find it a bit hard to have a proper team because it will be rather limited, and hence I would think that it's better to use her FR as echo. So in that case, if you are using her FR as echo, then it's not much different from any other FR. She does the basic 4 AoE HP dumps, so that I give her FR a score of 2.5. One thing I forgot to mention is that her FR does have 20% HP damage limit up, but it's good. But again, I rather have a generic FR to increase the HP damage bonus quickly than rely on that 20% additional HP damage limit up. So yes, we have heard that Iris is insanely broken. So why is that? And that to me is actually from her BT. So I would really suggest, if you are going to pull for Iris, then you need her BT, else you don't. Okay, you don't try like just to get a FR and then later you say you can't pull off a certain things, or just basically for her EX. A lot of people hype her up due to her EX able to copy, but I will talk about that a little bit later. But don't just because of that then you pull it and you don't get a BT, and there's even more things that you actually can't do if you do not have it. So to me, her BT is essential for her, and that what's make her broken. So what does the BT do? Well, the typical HP damage limit up and everything is there. It's just that the additional effect of her BT is she set attack, defense, and max brave equals 0. So what's so good about that? First, if attack is 0 or max brave is 0, there are certain enemies that does true damage. So based on their attack stat, something like Pain's Poison. So Pain's Poison, enemy cannot mitigate that damage because it's based on her attack stat. So it's not technically like you are dumping brave on the enemy and dealing the HP damage where they can reduce it. So her poison does not do that. So some enemy has that form of mechanics, but Iris shut that down because most of the time it kills with either attack or max brave, and if attack and max brave is 0, then they just deal 0. One good example is later down during Leviathan fight, where the Marlboro does damage according to stats. So if Iris is in the party, they just deal 0 damage. And if we have max brave 0, come on, if the enemy can't even gain any brave because their max brave is now 0, technically whatever attack that they do is gonna be 0. So to me, that is really a broken mechanic. And the best of all is that with max brave 0, the enemy will be broken and then recover from break every other turn, so you can just keep breaking them again. So if you want to abuse Iris as a delayer, like you're going to push the enemy way back because you're going to keep breaking them and they're going to keep delay, yeah, that's totally a viable option. And that opens up to a lot of combos as well. So like if you combo her with character that have preemptive strikes or traps like Maria, Quina, so when they break the enemy, yeah, when it's during the enemy's turn, they are trap trigger, so enemy is broken, then they go behind, right? They delay and go behind the other enemy. So let's say A and B. A go behind B. Now B's turn and B is unbroken, and then now will be broken. You go behind A and back to A's turn. Then you trigger a trap again, and back to B turn. You trigger a trap again. So you kind of like double up the rate of this trap being triggered. So that is really very interesting to do. And the best is with Dorgan. So every time you bring an enemy, Dorgan will do a follow attack, and with a follow-up attack, he will break even more enemy and stuff like that. So you can create a chain. Previously, we kind of used Sephiroth in order to trigger that, but now Iris can also do that as well. And both Iris, Dorgan, they are both green crystal. So if you are moving toward green crystal passives, this is something that you should learn how to do. And Iris is really good for that. The last is that Defense 0. So Defense 0, as the Thornberry mentioned on their infographic, it is not Defense Ignore. So don't just bring her into Shiva's fight, because now Shiva's fight is still active. So you don't just bring her there and expect that you can reduce the aura that Shiva has. No, you can't, because it is not Defense Ignore. But with 0 defense, pretty much every character will be able to hit cap brave damage. Okay, so that is really good. Basically giving her the ability like a support character, because with all the auras from most support character, what do we want is that to allow our character to hit cap, right? So Iris do it differently, not by boosting your party's attack stat, but actually by decreasing the enemy's defense stat to 0. So if you decided that you want to pull for Iris, her BT is a must, right? Most of the important aspect of her as a character, as a unit, all come from her BT. Now let's move on to the kit. So she has a fast and supercharging skill. Okay, so I don't have to elaborate much on that, because a lot of characters like Aerith, Charlotta has that RAM, so it's similar role in that sense. Minor support role, her aura is not as good as most aura bots, so definitely lower than Rams, Charlotta, but she does, again, back to her BT, she does manipulate enemies' stats to the point that she functions just as well as any other aura bots. Again, you need her BT to do that. Then she has turn manipulation from an EX and LD, but that is basically, her LD is basically to position herself so that she can use her EX to copy the damage of a previous unit. And again, she have utility, all from her BT, Rebreak, Disabler. Yeah, by reducing enemy stat to 0, then you basically, they will not be dealing much damage to you anyway, and max brave down, 0 damage. Then you have delay through the rebreaks, and defend down, making your team hit harder. So how to use Iris kit? So first of all, fast charger, quick charger to quickly set up, boost up your gauge, get into FR, and then start doing all the FR thing that you will be doing. Then just the point is that once you reach 999%, and then if you use a nuke button, right, a very strong attack like Tifa's FR with her BT, right, so she will be hitting like 80 million, something like Anacro, LD, they will be hitting 80, 90 million. And Iris, when she uses her EX, she copies that damage, and with additional 2 more HP dumps. So that is actually really interesting, but you only want to do that when the HP damage bonus is high. So again, her LD makes it easier because she positions herself after a character. So let's say if Tifa is going to do the last hit, then you can position Iris after Tifa. So if you do that, then she copies her damage. And with her EX, she can pull up any other character. So it does makes team setup, turn manipulation all slightly much easier. And the best of all is that her EX that copies another character's damage works even after force time. So meaning if the final force time at 999, then after that you are out of force time, but the last attack that you do in force time was like 100 million damage, then Iris is going to copy that. okay, even if you are after force time. But the problem is that most of the time now, if content is becoming easier again, you probably win most fight within one force time. So you won't really plan exactly like, you know, you're gonna do it to the point that after force time, then you're gonna use Ares EX. So again, how essential is her EX to copy damage? Is it really that good? It really depends on how you're going to play out your fight, right? And just to mention here, Bahamut Summon and Ram that can instantly charge your EX is actually very useful. So during the entire force time, you can just copy, because most of her other skills, LD, S1, is not going to do much damage anyway. So when you want to use Iris, to me, I think she's very universal with her stats manipulation from her BT. She's probably suitable in almost every fight. So yeah, overall score, I give her a 10 over 10 just for her BT effect. If you're actually asking about her kit entirely, like without her BT, I might give her a 5. So you won't really find much use. Yeah, maybe you can plan for her EX, but it's not going to be that useful. So if you really want to go for her, go for the BT. Alright, so thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you like it, and good luck with your pulls.